Thank you again for helping me bring Adrian to the castle.
But of course, miss. Is there anything else I can do for you?
No, not at the moment.
Then I'll come over again tomorrow. Have a nice day.
See you. As long as Adrian's still asleep, I should let the Archbishop know about the current state of affairs. Your Grace, this is Prioress Antolini. There were complications. The exorcism failed. No, I don't think that was the reason. Yes, but that only makes sense if the demon is unknown. Correct, Your Grace. We underestimated his strength. Father Frederick is dead. He was thrown across the room, and Okay. No, the Guardian is doing well considering the circumstances. Yes, Your Grace, I understand. I also think that the location is crucial. The Guardian had an image of Pictish glyphs with him, the same as those engraved on the Shade portal. That's exactly where the demon must be forced back. Yes, into the Black Mirror. It will be no problem to get there. The demon itself tries to force its way to the mirror. It's drawn to it like a magnet. He won't cause us any problems until then. On the contrary, Guardian and demon will be hard to keep apart. Yes, that's the other side of the coin. But, Your Grace, the man is probably the only one who can fulfill this task. Yes. Is there an alternative to exorcism? Of course, I'll do that. All right then. First, I have to find the entrance to the catacombs under the castle. A chapel is mentioned in the records, which is found down there. That's where I guess the Black Mirror is. Yes. Yes. Thank you, Your Grace. Thank you. Good. As long as Adrian is still asleep, I can start looking for a way in. Most secret passageways in old walls have the characteristic of not being sealed completely airtight. That could help me. The Gordon family tree. Many of the guardians were women. Isabella, Emily, Rosa. But also Marcus Gordon, Albert, and Durham. There are records on them in the Vatican Library. The Gordon file from the Vatican Archives. The last entry is from 1923. It notes the handing over of the guardian position to Victoria Gordon. Right at the front of the file is a copy of a letter from Marcus Gordon. In it, he says that the entrance to the Shade Portal is sealed with an altar. The underground chapel was consecrated and prevents the shades from entering the catacombs. Mainly lexicons and biographies about British lords. I found a book about the Guardians here. There's only English literature here. Shakespeare, etc. I've already read them all. The Bible gave me much strength when I needed it. I think everyone should read it at least once. There were still some old tiles stored in the cellar. If no one had saved them back then the whole floor would have had to been relaid. I wanted the rubble to be stored in the hall, so that the kids that sometimes meet outside the castle don't injure themselves. But I didn't think it would be so much. I don't see any way to get rid of this door. The entrance to the catacombs used to be under the foundation stone, but Marcus had it sealed off. Now it's only a cellar down there. I once saw such a huge globe in a museum in Moscow. It was also made of metal. I remember that Australia was only half depicted on it, because they hadn't yet mapped it out completely when they made it. The Gordon family crest, a shield with blue background and 5 golden lilies. The wonderful cutlery didn't survive the fire very well. I've stored the remains in boxes upstairs. The source of the fire was here in the kitchen. The room up there was the butler's room, I think. I was almost killed by a ceiling beam during the first inspection with the workmen. That's why there are supports in here. The entrance to the catacombs must be in the castle. I'll only get wet outside. I'm sure there's wine stored in these barrels. A dustpan and brush. These are clearly too small for the current condition of the castle. The electricity in the cellar has been turned off for safety reasons, so unfortunately the light switch doesn't work. Creepy darkness. That reminds me of something very unpleasant from my childhood in the convent. The sewer system under the castle couldn't deal with all that firefighting water. 3 weeks ago, the water in the cellar was still up to my knees. It'll be months before anyone will be able to access the sewer system without diving equipment. Can't get any further here. The corner's just a last resting place for junk. The well seems to be dry. A water pump. The workmen brought it with them to pump out the cellar. This was actually only rented for a week. The wine barrels have been empty for decades. The last generation of Gordons were tea drinkers. The floor of the library is higher than the rest of the rooms on the ground floor. Perhaps the secret entrance is hidden under it. Or maybe just old-fashioned underfloor heating. A mighty pillar. The wooden cladding is decorated with carvings. Matches. They're from a cafe in London where I met the Archbishop a few days ago. There we go. The flame flickers here. There's a draft. And this room has no windows. I guess there's a cavity behind, or... Soon, these plates can be removed. There's a metal wall behind it. And there's a strangely shaped hole in it too. A keyhole, I guess. The hole is the shape of a cogwheel. A normal key definitely doesn't fit in here.